the presidential debate. Okay, we need to talk about President Biden and President Xi Jinping talking about all the G-20 stuff in Bali, Indonesia. So today I'll be going through a summary of what is actually happening, what was actually discussed about. Of course, I do need to give out disclaimer, which is all this is all from the mouth of President Biden himself. We are not sure is that actually what transpired, but we can only take whatever that actually happened at face value according to what he said during this press conference. Okay, so some of the things that he actually gave out with his general statement, he did say that the US is going to be continuously working with China to solve global challenges. They came to a conclusion that the threat for the use of nuclear weapon is not acceptable. Pretty sure that this was also saying that China also came together to establish the fact that both countries feel that nuclear weapons is not actually acceptable in general. The US reaffirmed their One China policy concern, stating that there will be no changes to their One China policy, stating that the peace will still be maintained in the Taiwan Straits. Afterwards, it was being followed up with some questions. I actually brought up 3 different questions that I thought that is quite interesting. The first one by Wall Street Journal, I think this is one of the most interesting questions, which is, are we possibly going into this Cold War with China due to the potential Taiwan's invasion by China? And also, if that were to be happening, is there any warning to be given to China? Did Biden actually give any sort of appropriate warning over to China if that were to happen? Biden basically replied saying that he is convinced that Xi Jinping got the message, but personally, I don't know. I feel that he kind of punted on this question. He just reiterated whatever he actually said in the general statement. I wasn't really feeling that really much was actually said properly. Afterwards, another question was asking about the whole entire updates on Russia-Ukraine, and especially with the, I think was it Creston's victory in the past few weeks. And then Biden basically just reiterated that his stand on Ukraine situation is that other than providing weapons and arms over to Ukraine, they are not going to be entering any form of negotiation because this is for Ukraine and Ukraine should be part of the negotiation, not US. So, I think that stand that did not really change throughout time. I think Biden has actually stayed with the same thoughts as well. Next up, someone actually asked if there are any strategies around stopping North Korea from doing nuclear tests, and if so, would China be able to stop them or actually convince North Korea to stop? Biden basically stated that China might not be able to control North Korea, and reiterated yet again that US and China came to a conclusion that the long-range nuclear test is not acceptable. So yeah, I think that this whole entire statement, just watch this. It's a lot easier because other than the whole entire 16-minute where Biden basically said whatever I just said, sort of. Okay, so anyway, afterwards, Biden did actually touched upon a little bit about the political side of things, about how the House and the Senate is going to be like. Of course, according to the Arizona's election yesterday, I think Katie Hobbs did beat Carrie Lake. So Carrie Lake is Republican, GOP's, which means that the Democrat have their full 50 seats inside the House. And it doesn't matter how the Republicans fight, because right now there's 1 seat left. Republicans is at 49, the Democrats is at 50. So even if the last seat were to be won by the Republican, Kamala Harris is still going to be the deciding vote, which is most likely going to be going to the Democrats. So the House in general, was it the House? I think, the House in general is going, my bad. The Senate in general is going to be going to the Democrats. And the House itself, currently, they need 218 seats for them to actually declare victory on the House. Currently, Republicans is at 217, Democrats is at 205. Personally speaking, it kind of looks like the Republican is going to be winning the House, which is why there's also possible talks that Nancy Pelosi might also be replaced for the House Speaker. And that's also going to be playing into why this is also important for this entire summary video, because about a few months ago, Nancy Pelosi, which is the House Speaker, the Speaker of the White House, actually went over to Taiwan, which actually caused a lot of possible fear in this Cold War actually extending out to reality. So of course, right now, the fact that the whole Nancy Pelosi thing actually just blew past, I'm pretty sure that that was actually brought up in the 3-hour convention with President Biden and President Xi Jinping. But of course, that was not really much talked about, and I believe that the US will not be sending Pelosi over to Taiwan anymore. But anyway, I think that's kind of basically the summary for it. However, of course, this is a financial channel after all. It's not just talking about politics. So we talk about the stocks market. So currently, I think that the China market in the morning, Hong Kong stocks actually went up about 3 to 4%. So Chinese stocks in general, they're actually quite happy about the fact that China did not really seem overly aggressive nor kind of like defensive over the whole fact that they are going into this G-20 summit with President Biden. At the same time, for the US themselves, right now, I'm recording this video about like 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. So it's going to be uploaded in about, like, I don't know, 12 hours or so for you guys. For the US stocks at the moment, in the pre-market in general, the S&P is up close to 1% at the moment. So hopefully this actually continues and we actually can see some form of a rally of hope. Okay, talking about how, you know, possibly we might be able to see how US and China might be able to have a more long-term partnership sort of thing. And of course, I think that this also reiterate the possibility that we do want a more reasonable president to actually take over. Of course, I think that I kind of open up myself as quite transparent with my opinions on my my own political views. Okay, of course, I'm not from the United States, so I can't vote, and what I say don't really matter to anyone, I don't think. But I personally have always been a supporter of Donald Trump, but actually, in more specific term, I'm a supporter of Republicans in general. Okay, so how the whole Republican versus Democrats, I'm kind of always 51% towards the Republicans. I do consider myself as an independent thinker rather than a Republican nor a Democrat thinker. Okay, so it's not always I'm going to be thinking about the Republicans. I do think that the Democrats do have some good ideas at times, but certainly right now I think Biden is not exactly performing the best that he can. Right now, personally, I do hope that DeSantis do win the presidential election. I do think that he might have a good chance to talk China out of things or into things, and hopefully we can actually go past this whole thing in a diplomatic manner. But anyway, that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.